What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Alright, so before I go further in this video, I want to give a shout out to Aaron for his contribution to the channel. Much respect to Aaron and to everybody that contributes to this channel. I want to give a shout out to everybody that subscribed to me over on the Patreon. I will be uploading a couple of videos on the Patreon tonight. Alright. Um, Shout out to Ticket TV because I think he's doing a live stream right now talking about this. Now, I first heard about this situation yesterday. But the reason why I didn't do a video about it is because I didn't know the genesis of the beef, quote unquote. Like most articles I read, which is predictable, they piled on. They piled on Rodney Macgruber and basically saying like, how dare he, this little peon, talk trash to the great Klay Thompson and the great Draymond Green. That's pretty much the tone of most articles I've read talking about this. But they wouldn't actually talk about what he was actually, his beef was. So apparently he was just in a game between the Warriors and the Pistons, I believe. He was standing up for a teammate of his. Okay? I guess he was kind of animated, talking shit. It is what it is. That's his personality. What I don't like is it's one thing to talk shit from a basketball standpoint, right? Talk about your skills, talk about how the score is lopsided, your team ain't shit, you know what I'm saying, your game ain't shit, da da da. And even if you were to go to the extreme that Klay did, where apparently it was either after the game or during the game doing color commentary. I can't remember exactly what it was. But Klay said something about the guy. It might have been after the game. He said something about the dude probably off the league in a year. You know what I'm saying? Basically trying to minimize his impact, saying he's probably like a 10-day contract type dude. And this is one of the things that I really loathe about the young generation. I really do. Um, they supposedly call the NBA a family when it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that, in my opinion. Not anymore. If you're going to say something like that in trash talk, I'm pretty sure Gary Payton used to say shit like that. But he kept that in the locker room. They kept that on the court. To put this shit out in public like this in the media, that's some big shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Why would Klay Thompson even say that on the mic, on air, about another NBA player? You know? Um, this just also goes to show how the NBA is a microcosm of our society in the fact that, you know, besides the racial uh, divisions we have in our country, we have class division. Now, most of the NBA is black, so you don't see that type of dynamic with the racial division for the most part, but you see the class division. Now, back when Bill Russell was playing, a huge contract was $100,000 contract for maybe 4 or 5 years. That was a big contract. Whereas a minimum contract, I don't know, maybe something like $10,000. Okay, it's a pretty big disparity. But Bill Russell's contract, he wasn't rich, but he was comfortable by 1950s and 60s standards. Matter of fact, I think his contract was $1,000, $100,000, and $1. I think it was his contract. And by the 1970s, your big contracts were $400,000, $500,000 over 5 years or so. That was a big contract. In time Magic Johnson came to the league, now you're hitting $1 million, and then 2 million by the time Jordan got in there, and then it just skyrocketed. And now you have guys making supermax contracts where they're making 40, even $50 million a season, in addition to endorsements, in addition to maybe with other contracts they may have with other uh, entities. And so now what you have is a class crisis, you know what I'm saying? Where maybe 10 guys, maybe a little bit more than that, in the NBA have these supermax contracts. And then you have these guys who are near the bottom of the NBA who aren't making as much, you know what I'm saying? Now, compared to us, they make good money. But the life of an NBA player, well, travel and expenses, it's not a huge contract. You know what I'm saying? And for him to hit on that nerve and say this guy might not be in the league in a year, that's like somebody telling you, you know, oh, that dude, shit, man, he probably get fired next 6 months. You know what I'm saying? From what I heard, shit, he might not have a job in 6 months. Now, mind you, everybody lives paycheck to paycheck. You know what I'm saying? You don't talk shit about somebody's livelihood like that. And, you know, it just, it smacks of elitism, you know, snobbish. Like, you're not on our level because we're champions, you know. And it's the narcissism complex I always talk about in our society, you know. And the thing I don't understand with Klay is, Klay, you're in a precarious situation right now anyway. And you're a great player. I think the world of you as a basketball player, but aren't you kind of like in an uncertain time period in your career right now? Isn't he over 30 and you suffered two back-to-back major injuries? Your days of supermax money might be are probably over. And Draymond, you fooled so many people into thinking that you're something that you're not. You're lucky to be making that fucking money. 20 years ago, you wouldn't even been in the NBA because you would have been seen as a tweener. You'd have been a guy who was too short to guard all the great power forwards. You damn sure not going to guard the center. You'd have been too short to do anything with the Chris Webbers and the Derek Colemans and the Kevin Garnetts and the Tim Duncans and the Sharif Abdul-Rahims and the Tom Gugliotas. You know what I'm saying? He, he would have been too small to do anything with those guys, but he'd have been too slow, for the most part, with few exceptions, to do anything with the small forwards and the perimeter guys. So he'd been out the league. Byron Houston was a very dominant college player, but he was 6'4" and 250. And everybody is not Charles Barkley. You know what I'm saying? And Byron Houston was a tweener. He struggled in the NBA and he was out the league in 5 years, mostly as a backup. And I believe he's the guy that gave up Charles Barkley 56-point game in '94. That would have been Draymond Green back then. So don't get it fucking twisted. They created the Warriors and the way that the game is played now, they were able to create a role for him to thrive. But he is not individually a great player. Okay? No matter what the fuck the media tells you, I don't give a fuck what they keep telling me. I know he's not a fucking great player. Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what Rodney Macgruber did that was wrong. Okay? He did what any player would do and step up for his teammate. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, this shit now where guys are like just going after guys' money and their pockets and talking about their status. And I don't understand this shit, man. Like, you know, motherfuckers will talk shit and say, oh, man, this nigga only got 800, this nigga only got 700, 800 subs, or this guy only got 3,000 subs. I mean, talk to me when you, I once had somebody comment to me a couple years ago. LOL, you only got 10,000 subs. Come back to me when you got 30,000 subs or something, right? Mind you, this motherfucker don't even upload videos. The dude left a comment, he don't even upload videos. So, I don't know, man. It's just bogus, man. Like, the shit was, it was uncalled for. And, let me say this too. Because I saw this on Ticket's podcast before I did the video. This shit ain't the same as Shaq calling out Donovan Mitchell. It's not the same. First of all, Shaq is an established all-time great, arguably top 10, all right? Top 4 center, top 5, depending on how you look at Bill Russell. Top 5 center. 4-time NBA champion. We looked at Donovan Mitchell last year in the playoffs in the first round, right? Did you see how dominant Donovan Mitchell was during that playoff series? The guy averaged nearly 40 points per game during that series. 40. Nearly 40. Remember, they didn't have Michael Conley in that series. And many people thought that would be the difference in that series. That Denver's probably going to win 4 games to 1 or a sweep. Donovan Mitchell played inspired basketball. The reason why Shaq said what he said is because we can see what Donovan Mitchell is capable of when he goes into that gear. Why is he not able to put up the same type of numbers or better than Damian Lillard or Steph Curry or whoever? He should be able to average 30 points a game. But he generally gives you around 22, 23, 24. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? When you're on a loaded team. But what Shaq is saying is, what he told him in tough language is, I'm a big fan of your game. I'm a big fan of you. I think from watching you that you're capable of being more than what you are, but I'm starting to think you're not going to do it because I've watched you this long and you haven't done it. Okay? Prove me wrong. That's the same shit we say about Lonzo Ball. But you pussy ass niggas out there, you know what I'm saying? You pussy ass motherfuckers with your sensitive ass fucking feelings and emotions, going around shooting your fucking mother because she tells you to get a fucking job, going around killing your family because they telling you the fucking truth. You pussy ass motherfuckers. Shaq, look, if you think Shaq said was rough, then don't even entertain the notion that the players that you like today could play in the era of the 80s and 70s and 90s. Don't even entertain that notion because it was much worse. Much, much worse. Some of the shit that teammates used to say to each other. Stephen A. Smith and Shaq had a similar conversation 21 years ago before Shaq won a championship. And he said, I think you're a great player, Shaq, but I don't think you can win, because you don't bring it. You know what I'm saying? When push comes to shove. And that's the same thing I was trying to convey in my videos about Shaq. He would put up the great numbers, but he needed to dominate. See, this is the one thing I will give Bill Russell credit on. Bill Russell was not, by definition, a great scorer. But there were games when they needed him to step up, and he would step up and have a huge game by his standards. Whether he might put up 25 points and 22 rebounds, or he might put up 36 points and 40 rebounds in a game. That's playing outside of himself, putting it on another level. Okay? Well, the Hakeem Olajuwon, when they had to go through probably the toughest road of any champion in NBA history, they had to go on a road from the opening round to the finals. Olajuwon carried that fucking team to the playoffs. I think he averaged 33 points a game during the whole fucking playoff run. He went fucking out of his mind in that series. But he had to do it because he had to put his team on his back to win a championship. Michael Jordan was on fumes in '98, but he had to do what he had to do and carry the Bulls along the way. And that's what he's trying to convey in Donovan Mitchell, but he's tired of doing it in a pussyfied way. If coddling isn't working, then he had to make you mad. He had to push you that way. You know what I'm saying? But the difference between what Shaq did is it's basketball related. Telling a dude that you probably gonna be out the league in a year is extraordinarily disrespectful to him. Not to mention that he probably has a family and kids to feed and bills to pay. He didn't speak trash to the point where you gotta say something like that. So you know what? The next time they play each other, hopefully they play each other again. I hope this motherfucker light Golden State the fuck up. I hope he just have one of those goddamn fucking uh what's his fucking name, man? Um Damn, what's his fucking name? What's the dude that lit Jordan ass up one year with the Wizards, man? LeBradford Smith. I hope he has a LeBradford Smith game. Hope he just light the fucking Warriors up. He might not have no other great game, but I hope he drop 50 on you motherfuckers, man. Just fucking hit nothing but threes. Fuck them.